Thank you. And so that concludes the presentations. And so what we do is we move on to the question and answer portion. So we have both presenters up here, and Dave, of course, is the lead RPM on the base, and he's available for the questions too. So we have two Q&A periods now. We start off with the Restoration Advisory Board members who can have Q&A, and then we'll move to the community, okay? So I will now open the floor to board members only to question either Kimberly or Mukesh. Tommy Jean will be here and have the ability to go back into the presentation if you want to go back to a specific slide, if you feel that's necessary. All right, so I open the floor to, first of all, Nathan.
On site 24, page 12, in the, I guess it's well 24 EW15, the vinyl chloride is put at 40, and the limit is supposed to be 15. Is that a typo or?
EW15?
Building 96 there, the one on the end, it says the vinyl chloride is 40 instead of, no, the one on the
96.
Right.
Oh, 96 up there.
No, the next one down.
Oh, okay.
All the way out on the end of vinyl chloride.
The VC.
Oh, that's
Oh, this one
undetected.
here.
View, it's undetected.
It's undetected. There was, yeah,
So you want to explain that to him?
right. That means that when they ran the lab analysis, this vinyl chloride was not detected at that detection limit.
What he's saying
But wait-
is it's the wrong detection.
But why would it be 40 even if it's not detected? You detected it at 3.7 and J flagged it, and then at 40 you have an undetected. Should that be 4.0?
Yeah, it's
No, I hear undetected, but why is the number 40?
It's because there was a dilution factor. So
yeah, it's kind of a, what they do in the lab is that they adjust the dilution before they run that particular sample.
Okay. And then on page 14?
But anyway, so the takeaway, I mean, go ahead and summarize the takeaway. The takeaway is it was below the method detection limit of the equipment.
Equipment, right, yeah.
So explain what that means, if you can.
Yeah.
Try, please, to that.
Yeah, so the method detection limit that the lab sets, sometimes what they have to do is adjust the sample so that it doesn't blow up the whole chromatograph. You know, whatever the equipment is, sometimes it just shoots out, and so what they have to do is to dilute it down to a certain level where they can actually take that sample instead of just kind of blowing a gasket on it.
So when you look at the lab and you look at that U value, what is the takeaway?
Well, we say that it was below the detection limit for,
And therefore,
But that means that it would be much higher if you didn't dilute it.
no. Do you want?
okay, so sometimes when you collect this sample, so for example, this EW15, you notice you have 20U and then you have 40Us. And then the other one up there, you have 2.0U, 2.0U. And so sometimes you'll have a sample that may be hotter than your other ones. It may have a higher concentration. That's going to be evident in EW15 because the detection limit is an order of magnitude higher than the other sample, the EW11. Okay, that EW11, they did not have to dilute it. It wasn't as high. So what happens is sometimes you'll get a sample, it may be higher than what the machine that they're going to run the sample on can handle, and they have to use what's known as a dilution factor. So you're right, if you have a detection limit, if your cleanup goal is 15, and you can only go to a detection limit of 40 of your machine,
Right.
typically you can resample it and you dilute it back down, but you can't run it as it is or you will actually damage your machine.
Right.
Okay, so with that one, the 40U, if your detection limit, let's say, is 15, you can't necessarily say that it was below 15, but we definitely know that it was below 40. Does that make sense?
If your detection limit's 15 and you're below 40.
Your cleanup level.
your cleanup level is
Did I say detection limit?
But
I'm so
then
sorry.
You can't
Your
prove
cleanup
it if
level.
you say it's below 40. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you hit 15.
Okay, so sometimes you can't, if you have a concentration that's too high, because he's just started his remedial, his bio injections. So right now you have high concentrations in either soil, gas, or water. This is going to be a function of those samples until the bioorganisms start working and getting concentrations lower. If you have a sample that is, you know is going to be high, you can't necessarily give it to a lab to run as is, because sometimes the machinery is so sensitive, it could actually damage the machine. So that's the case in EW15. It's a sample that is obviously in a hot spot based on those detection limits, and that appears to be the focus area of his remediation.
But you've
Well, that
got,
actually shouldn't be the hot spot because it's outside, just like,
Could be downgrade.
yeah.
Well, you're
It's a
down
down
gradient. You see the arrow?
Yes,
He's
down
down
No,
gradient.
but it's outside, if we follow our plan was to only work where it's concentrated, that one should have been clean to begin with.
Not
And because it's
necessarily.
down
necessarily,
No, it's
no.
down
We're working
gradient.
on-
Not
Yeah, no, Not
necessarily.
necessarily, because, you know, like over here, we still have some detection there. And so,
Yeah, but look at those detections, they're all within the,
yeah, those are
goals.
pretty low.
When you see a high,
and you were able to measure higher concentrations earlier in the process. You showed us that.
it's a function of the laboratory instrument.
Yeah.
I understand that, and so does Nathan. But you had levels
But
of
I mean, look at the ones that are in red.
2200.
Those are-
But that's coming from a different well though. It's a different sample. So you have one well right here, and it may be
No,
sampled.
but look at the measurements you're getting there. And over
Yeah,
here, you're
that's-
saying,
that's-
well,
See,
it's
that's
40.
right inside the, that's where we're trying to work right in here. That's where the sample came from, right in here. And the same with this one. It's coming from the area.
Those are your hot spots. And see the
Those are the
arrow?
hot spots.
And see that blue arrow? That's pointing
This
where
one here.
groundwater is going, and it's actually going right towards
It's
that
going up,
EW15.
So why not resample with whatever equipment you used for the other sites to see what the true concentration was?